got my first line.
Oh,
Me too, the first little paragraph, I got that one down.
All right, let's start with jury charge.
I need you. I need you. Jury charge.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so jury charge first.
You'll notice that some of these paragraphs is comprised of just one sentence. That's happens a lot in jury charge.
Well, being able to figure out paragraphs, does that come easier with time?
Well, you know, in most Q&A, you won't have to worry about paragraphs. And I don't believe the CSR counts off where you put paragraphs, just as long as you do put some paragraphs. Like, don't make a paragraph in the middle of a sentence or anything like that. But usually, you know, an indication is like if they're numbering off something like number 1, da-da-da-da-da-da, number 2, you'd start another paragraph with number 2. And some of the little introductory clauses would be a good place to make a
For the
paragraph.
jury charge, I put the first 3 paragraphs as one big paragraph. And I guess I just don't see where it might help once they start stroking out all the words.
Well, I don't think it's really that important, just as long as you do make some paragraphs, so it's just not one long, big clump. And usually if they repeat members of the jury, that's another good indication to start a paragraph again. But I think you'd be okay.
It's so bad. It's embarrassing. I really am trying to compared to what I'm used to, like it's just
Did you all do this sentence with your little semicolon in between? The plaintiff in this case is Ann Jones, semicolon. The defendant is Louise Kane.
So it's wrong to do that as separate
I did that
sentences.
too.
Why is that?
Well, it just kind of goes together.
Yeah.
A comma's not strong enough?
that was my first time.
I comment.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay, comma's not strong enough.
No.
Yeah, I totally comment.
I think you could also do it 2 little sentences too.
2 sentences?
Yeah.
Couldn't even read it through.
Anything more on this first page? Okay.
Oh, I do have a quick, Miss Judy, like,
Yes.
after, on the date, August 20th, 2011,
Uh-huh.
I totally forgot my comma afterward, but that
Uh-huh.
that is a basic rule, you always
Yes.
put that there.
Yes. And also you notice 1 period, P period, M period, comma.
Okay. Should that, the PMs and AMs are always perioded? I didn't,
You
I
know,
just
I've seen it
left
other ways, but I think correctly,
period them, okay.
yeah. And keep that period even though you're gonna have a comma after it. You need to keep that period. Now, I think you could, like, put these 2 paragraphs together because we're talking about what the plaintiff is claiming, and then when the defendant starts denying the claims, he would start another paragraph. And then when we're done with the defendant, we go into the issues. So that's a good place to start a paragraph as well.
I didn't even get to do that, 'cause that was so bad, I just couldn't figure out what was what, couldn't figure out what was the sentence.
We all have those days.
may wanna look at it.
Then we talk about the burden of proof here, and then we go into the preponderance of the evidence. So those are two different things. Okay, ready? Any questions on anything on here?
Wait a second, there's something that was good to draw to the attention. In finding the facts of the case, where was that? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that paragraph. Yeah, the second line, that is received here in court. Notice it's lowercase there.
Yes, good.
Okay,
Good.
That's important.
That's
because
very, very
it's
good
not a
point.
court, it's just a court, received
Yeah.
here in a court.
Received here in this room.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you, very good point.
yeah.
Everybody see that? This is not talking about the judge.
It's the building.
So
Yeah.
my suggestion to y'all about capitalizing the court to the court, that's an instance where you wouldn't capitalize it. So
Yeah.
if you have it in your dictionary as a phrase in court, then you
Then
need to
go back and add
review that when you're doing the transcript to make sure that you lowercase it.
Yeah, our convo last week helped me when I was reading through this. I was like, oh.
Yeah, if it was received here by the court, then
Yeah.
it would be a cap. Thank you, great.
Yeah. No, I remember when it happened,
Yeah.
because I had to think myself, you know.
Yeah,
I said, no, it's lowercase.
all righty. I guess this is just Grant that goes this far.
Yeah, down to presumption of negligence. Yeah, the second paragraph.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Okay. The next is literary.
My stuff is-
There's a lot of legal terminology this week. Even the lit was,
It was, yeah.
it was, I don't, what is it, deposition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deliberation.
Any of these clients would say.
No, I think this is an opening statement.
I am here to take your deposition, question.
Oh, yeah, then it's a deposition, yeah. It's an opening statement for the deposition.
That's a long sentence.
I know, I do have a question about that sentence.
The first
On
one?
the second paragraph.
Okay.
I'm here to take your deposition to question digga. Okay, and I got it wrong, but I put, I'm here to take your deposition, period. But then I knew that to question under oath, so I was like, oh, never mind, I'll just comma it. And then I got all messed up. Like that really, that threw me off. Because it just
Well-
seems to be like,
Well, to question you under oath about the accident and related details in your injuries is an incomplete sentence.
that would make it a comment.
And actually, they're taking your deposition, questioning you under oath, which is what you do in a deposition. So he's kind of just expounding on what the deposition is. It's where I question you under oath about whatever your claims are.
If you take out all the other words after question you, I'm here to take your deposition, to question you, and I will get into that. Would you have put comments?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the same thing, it's just added words.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Grant. I just,
Yeah, sometimes you're just thinking too hard about it. Kind of like, I'm here to take your deposition, pause, to question you under oath about the accident and related details and your injuries, pause, and I will get into that more in detail later. So, kind of where they pause.
I'll try to think of someone talking.
Yeah. And here you see the sentence that starts, but.
I know.
Yeah, I
That
do.
throws me all the time. It just seems uncomfortable. Why wouldn't it be comma after the but? But, comma,
It can be.
it can be? Okay.
And I think you could even put a period after injuries and then say, and I will get into that in a moment, but before I do that, I want to.
If you did period after injuries, would you, comma, but, I want to digga 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 digga?
I would.
Okay.
What do you think about using dashes after injuries and before but? In your injuries,
Yeah.
dash, and I will
Yeah.
get that into that more in a moment, dash.
Yeah, that would work.
Oh, that, yeah.
I just did the, but I want to give you a totally different paragraph. I connected it to the next paragraph.
The
Because I
dash
saw
is,
it
that
as-
makes sense, because it's like a extraneous
Yeah.
thought, kind of.
I'm
But
sorry,
how come
can
I
you-
don't see this on test day? Like,
Yeah.
we could talk about it. I'm like, oh, yeah, but no, when I'm
It's good
sitting
that we
there.
review it.
Jury charge is weird.
It is.
It's
It's run-on sentence after run-on
Yeah.
sentence.
mhm. But you'll get a rhythm with it after you hear it over and over and over and over. Caitlin, I'm sorry, what were you?
No, it wasn't important. I just said that I gave the but sentence, but I want to give you, I put that in the next paragraph because I felt like it was leading on to the next
Yeah.
subject.
Yeah,
I don't know if that would be correct.
I don't think it would have been incorrect.
That's what I did.
I love all these scratch outs.
I was just looking at that.
See, we're trying to make it easier.
She was. She took away Ruby.
Yeah.
Abbreviated and certified shorthand reporter.
See, that threw me though. It's like, oh, I got a stitch. See?
Yeah, it's threw me too. I was like,
That was the first time I think I've ever stitched on a test. Or
You
I've
need
ever
to have
stitched
that
accurately.
expression in your dictionary.
It is. It's
Define.
CRS
Yes.
asterisk.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
CRS,
CRS.
asterisk.
That's right.
But I did it correctly.
You hit the letter and then the asterisk. So for CSR. But that one is defined. It was weird writing about a court reporter when we're
That was.
on the machine. I was like,
I
weird.
was listening to the story more than I was writing.
I would too, like, and the court reporter.
Like, stop paying attention to what they're saying. You're just
I know.
typing the word.
And then you listen to what you're saying.
Yeah,
you're still
you-
missing it.
This week I read a little bit of a John Grisham book. You know, he does the legal, and he had a whole, it's about this little boy going to trial, and he was talking about court reporters in the book. Like, he wrote that they have a special language and they type a shorthand on a machine, but they go, it's called a stenograph. I was like, it's not called a stenograph. That's a company that makes
No,
them.
it's stenography is what it is.
Yeah. Well, and then he goes, the court reporter makes everything look easy. She has it verbatim, but it's not. And I remember thinking that was pretty interesting for Grisham, that he's an attorney, to put that in his book.
Well,
It's
you
not.
know, it is
That's not-
amazing.
that's
It
not
is
easy.
amazing that the attorneys, a lot of them think you just sit there and da-da-da-da-da, walk out the door and you're done.
Yeah.
Well,
You
I
know,
noticed
they
they-
just, they don't know.
Some of them give it a lot of respect. My mom is attorney, and she
Mhm.
just is like, oh, I could never do it. You could go to law school faster than you can get out of court
Yes.
reporting school. Like, she has so much respect for it.
Yeah.
But probably because I guess because she sees what
Yeah,
I
well,
go
also,
through.
yeah, your sister deals with them too, so she understands.
My sister's a paralegal, and she's like she just. So I noticed they.
Poor paralegals.
Oh,
They really wish they were court reporters.
they do. My sister has her master's in it, so she's like a gajillion dollars in debt. This badass paralegal with a master's, and she's like, "You're gonna make more than I ever will," and she's way more like educated.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great career. It's a great career.
We could ever get out of school.
Yeah. Well, Zerga's gonna be here with you forever, not Grant. He's writing books. Not Yvonne. Not you.
Okay, any other questions? Oh, here's another report at the court. Oh, court reporter's office.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I might have asked you this before. Do you have a mental list in your head of things you check through whenever you edit? Like the last time you read through? Because I always forget something. And is it possible we can print off the paper and then edit it and then reprint it? Because I miss things all the time until it's printed.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh,
No,
when
you
you're
can't.
when you're proofing on the computer.
Yeah. Is there any way I can print it out?
No.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. When you do get to start working, you're not going to want to print out 300 pages with your corrections. You know.
Yeah.
Very true.
I think you just ought to.
Figure it out.
I'll tell you, proofreading is an art. It's a developed art. It takes time.
Do you have a list of things, like a mnemonic or something that reminds you paragraphs and then homonyms, apostrophes, commas, periods? Because I always forget, like I forgot the apostrophe on the reporter's office.
Well, see, now you won't. That's what we're doing.
Now you
Until I
won't.
even put it in before I edited it.
Now you won't.
Yeah.
That's
So
how you learn.
just learn.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Failing is learning.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you don't really realize it until you take
Right.
these classes,
Like
but
the
every
courts,
failure
I
is a
went to
learning
all the
experience.
courts, But since we had that discussion
There
about
is no
courts last week,
failure.
I didn't make
Yeah.
this mistake.
Well, I know, but
Yeah.
No,
Good.
there is no failure. They are all experiences.
yeah.
Some are good, some are bad. You never consider it a failure.
But you do learn from your non-passing experience.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
And even just in kind of in life in general. I passed one test all summer. I was so depressed, but it
You
taught
got
me
better.
something, and it's like made me tweak.
You're going to hit plateaus. I think one of the hardest things to get through court reporting school is to not get discouraged,
Yeah.
because you're going to hit plateaus.
It's
And
depressing.
you're going to think
sometimes.
you're just, and a lot of times you start doing worse right before you pass the test.
Oh, yeah.
It's tricky.
Did you, in your own personal experience, and you guys that are faster, have y'all been like rocked to speed or two, like woo woo, yeah, and then
Yep.
plateaued, and then you're stuck somewhere for a while, and then
Yeah.
you know.
I remember getting out of theory, like I
Yeah.
was about 60, 40. Once I got to 120, I was like, I don't know, my fingers are not moving. It's just,
So that's just everyone has their own experience
Oh, yeah.
with that kind of a.
Yeah.
Put it into perspective, Shannon, when you said we only have 16.
9 more tests left.
16 times 3. That's how many tests we have, of individual tests a semester.
I know. I wish we tested more. I know it sounds crazy. I know it's a lot of work,
Yeah, it is.
but if we could test a few.
Well,
There-
this is my philosophy. When you go to the CSR, you have one chance, and you're going to be nervous as anything. So I actually think the less tests you have, it's teaching you to deal with your nerves.
It's very
If you
true.
get a test every week, it's not going to be that important to you. Well, I can get the test tomorrow. I'm not going to worry about this one today. You know,
that's a good way to think of it.
yeah.
Because we do, like I feel like my fingers are slightly numb.
Mhm.
Like I hit the keys really light. I'm like, what is wrong with me?
Or your hands just start shaking.
Mine shake,
Yeah.
and they're really strong. Like,
Yeah.
But at the same, I don't want to take much time. But at the same time, if you think about it, more time with the test, you get used to, maybe not used to, but you learn how to deal with that test anxiety because you do it all the time. So it's just another day in paradise.
You know, it's probably either or,
Yeah.
depending on the
Depends on the person.
individual as well. Yeah. Mhm.
I'm
But-
getting a little more used to the environment. Like the first week or two we were in here, I was like, oh. And now it's like, okay, come on. I've learned I like to put my machine away before I edit. I'm more comfortable.
Yeah.
And then like I have little things that help me like, okay, relax, edit.
And, you know, meditation will teach you to focus. Because you have to be so focused you don't even hear the chatter in your own head.
So yeah, that's
know?
what I do. I get the chatter in
Yeah.
my head. That's
I'm
what
getting
doing.
this, I'm getting this, I'm getting this, and then,
Does that go away eventually too?
Yes!
Huh?
Does that go away?
You have to work on that.
Yeah.
Oh, I
You have to
hate the
train
chatter.
yourself how to
I
focus.
tried doing, you know, not magic eye, but the optical illusions. I try to have one on my screen, like in the top corner, so that way I can focus on something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just a dot, it's something that moves and,
Oh, so that would distract me.
Yeah.
oh, it distracts me
Oh,
from.
you know, I've noticed that some of you are looking at your screen while you're writing.
I know.
I know.
Maybe during dictation, but
Do
not
you
during
then?
test.
I pop my eyes.
I
every
saw
now and
you
then.
do it.
But see, I learned at my
I
college.
saw
to
you do it.
That's how I was taught.
I better turn the camera over that way, huh?
At Bryan College, it was real time. You watch your screen, you watch what's coming up, and you print it.
You just never look at your screen. when
You're
writing.
not focused if you're watching your screen.
Yeah.
You're not focused on your
Never.
That's not my
writing.
test. So.
Never
Okay.
never look at your screen, Brittany. Don't.
I watch it, but I'm not.
No, don't do it anymore.
You're in trouble. Grant's gonna come spank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, are we done with this page here?
I was like, I was beating with a ruler to look at it. And give
You
it
and
to
I
me.
saw you and Daisy.
No, really, you shouldn't look
Our-
at
Or
your
like if I look at it like when I know I stroked something right, like members of the jury, I look at it real fast to make sure I stroked it right, even though I feel like I know I stroked it right. But when I know I haven't stroked something right, I don't look because I know it'll freak me out.
Our
See, that's
Well,
just
what
too
you
much
ought
going on
to do
in
is
there.
just lower
Yeah,
it.
see, that's
Just
too
lower
much.
it.
That's too much
That's
going
what
on.
I'm thinking. I'm
That's
like, okay,
way
she's
too
going right.
much
Let me go
going
check.
on.
And then I'm like, okay.
That's the
For
chatter.
5
I'm
minutes,
like,
don't look at your screen.
That's the chatter. Our class is really bad. Like in defense of Daisy, we're the first group that didn't have print paper.
Right.
So we, so I do better. If I look at it, forget it. I'm all
Right.
crazy. But so it's hard for like I know for Daisy, who's really good, like kind of naturally, she just kind of rocks, and she looks at her screen a lot. But it's kind of like we don't know. We're like we were taught young.
No, that was in theory.
Yeah.
Theory's done. Speed building is a totally different animal.
Yeah. Well, I personally don't because it messes me up. But I know that some of the girls in my class, it was a hard habit to break because.
Yeah, well, I learned with paper.
Now, if they're like we had a dictation the other day, and it was fire extinguisher. I was telling them about this earlier. I had no idea how to write it out, not at all. I knew fire, but extinguisher,
Do you know how to write X?
yes, it wasn't even XO.
No, but do you know how to write X?
Yes.
The word X.
So fire X.
Just the letter X.
Just X, the sound
Yes,
X.
but the thing is,
If I said to you X,
yes,
how do you
but
write?
the thing is during
BGS.
dictation, I want to try to get as many things as I can.
Just a
So
second.
you're trying to be Miss
I'm leading up. I'm leading up to this.
Oh, okay.
How do you write the sound of X just by itself?
Maybe.
BGS.
Well, actually, if it's a prefix, you need to
No,
do
no.
the
I'm just saying.
ES.
Just if you hear something
Oh.
and you hear X, wouldn't you put E, BGS?
No, I put X or KP.
Okay, so okay, put that. How do you write ting?
TING,
Okay. Wish,
WIRB,
ER.
ER.
She don't have that much
But,
time to sit
but
there
the
and do
thing
that.
is that
You just keep
You have to
writing.
learn that.
yes.
And
I
when
had
you
to-
transcribe,
Yes.
that's when you'll figure out, oh yeah,
Yes.
that was what I was
The
writing.
thing, and that's what I do on my
That's
test.
what I need to do.
But the thing, and I hate using this as an excuse, is with Kisslingberry's theory, we either know it or we don't.
Yeah.
And my goal is to eventually get my real-time cert.
Okay,
And
but
so
what
I
you
want to
do,
learn now
Yeah.
instead of,
yes, but I'm just saying,
15
if you at
different
least get it down,
yeah.
then when you go to transcribe, you look at it and you say, no, I should have written it this way. And then mark on a
Well-
piece of paper, extinguisher, da-da-da-da.
But at least you'll get it for
Also,
the test. You can go back
You're
and
going
like.
to be out there, you're going to have proper names
Oh, yeah.
that are not in Kisslingberry's
Oh,
dictionary
yeah. I
that you're going to have to write out.
I-
So, don't say, I'm not going to write out anything, I'm going to brief everything.
No,
can't.
Because you
And then-
can.
yeah. And then also like some of Kissing Birds, you can get it. Like you see the stroke or you know the outline, and you're like, oh okay, I know what he's trying to do. But there's some that you're like, I have no clue how he even came to this.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to build your own. And
Okay,
People, let's get
here's
here.
what I suggest you.
All right.
Let's
okay,
go.
and
Let's get out.
Just a quick note to Caitlin. When you are doing your performance challenge, do not think about the theory. Just
I don't.
write.
Well, and like for
Don't
Pat
worry
Thompson,
about-
I did PT. Like I'm not even writing stuff out.
Just write. Just keep writing. Don't even remember your theory book. Forget it.
Yeah.
Just write.
Okay. Now, for Pat Thompson, you would put PT?
I did PT with an asterisk or something because
that's
I didn't want to
fine.
write out.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
And did you
'Cause it's-
remember?
Yeah. Well, because we had
We have our little cheat
Yeah.
on our sheet.
I do that too.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
I think it was Tim Burrows or Tom Burrows. And
Yeah,
I just
Tim
did
Burrows.
TV.
Yeah,
or
I did too.
something.
I did
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Is
and
that what
that's,
y'all do on proper
Yeah,
names?
just-
Kind
yeah,
of.
as long as you
Well,
remember.
Because that can throw me on a
Yeah.
you know, when you don't have a little cheat sheet like that, and
Yeah, I didn't get it top of the test. So I was like, oh. Yeah.
What?
but you should, if you're gonna have you should write out the name one time. And I mean, I'm talking about doing this on the fly,
Yeah.
you know, in a deposition. Write it out one time and then mentally make yourself a brief for it.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
a good idea. Do you know like, when you're really working, you know the players, right? You know the names. Like, John Smith is the witness, Thomas is the
So you put them in
so
the
you
picture.
kind of can be a little, like, your prep work, could you put that in as a...
Oh, yeah,
as a
you
brief?
have, you know, in your software, you've got your speakers, little speaker section. Now, you know, if you're freelance,
You might not know the players.
well, a lot of times, you'll know who the attorneys are and you know who the witness is. Because you'll get the style of the case. But that's it,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, because they might talk about a conversation they had
Oh.
with Joe Blow,
Yeah,
and that's gonna.
Yeah.
Ooh, I never even...
Yeah.
Ooh, right.
Yeah.
So we really do need to learn names.
you need to learn how to write phonetically as well as use briefs and phrases.
I'm working on that.
Yeah,
That is
Okay.
something I want to do.
Sorry, I took.
that's okay. This is what this is for.
As long as I got it.
Yeah. I don't care if it takes me 500 strokes. I'm fine with that. You know.
'Cause I'm not gonna understand one stroke if I stroke it out.
Right.
That means I can put it together.
Right.
It's hard to read back when you mess up a brief, and it's like,
Yeah.
what was I trying to write there? It was
Yeah.
briefing. But if you write it out, you're like,
Right.
oh, I was trying to write speculative. And
Kind of like, you know, the number bar versus writing your numbers out. If you misstroke on the number bar, that's pretty black and white there.
yeah.
But, you know, when you're,
Process
if
of
you
like,
write your numbers out and you misstroke, at least you've got something there that you can try to piece
Yes.
together.
I've noticed that with I did number bar on the dates, and I got a date wrong because I had a 2 instead of a 3. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, well,
Yeah.
if I would have written that out.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I wrote.
Okay. Did everybody get the word chastising?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote testing. I didn't know too bad. I was testing.
Another thing, I think it was in the week 1 SAC pack, those finger exercises.
Yes.
Those are very good.
Do you like those? Those
They work.
really? Okay, I did them for a week or so, but I didn't know if it was a waste of time. Keep it up? Okay.
Yeah. Also, another thing that you should do when you sit down to practice, go write your numbers 1 through 100 and write your alphabet. Because those are the things, when people are rattling off numbers, that's not as easy to recall as a sentence. So you have to, and when people spell their names, you have to be on top of that stuff.
So have that be just muscle memory.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
I've been doing months and days of the week as my warm-up too.
Yeah.
I don't know if that does anything, but...
Okay. What he's talking about here, where the witness can read and sign, they have an errata sheet, which is at the back of the deposition, and they cannot make changes on the transcript. They have to do it on that sheet of paper. Like, you know, page 2, line 4 should be, you know, yes, but the reporter put no. That kind of thing. And, you know, you don't change the transcript, but everybody has an opportunity to read and sign their
We
depositions,
don't do
and
that in Montreal.
they don't allow you to? No read and sign? Really?
Wait, what?
After the transcript is made, the person that was deposed has an opportunity
To send errata.
to read and sign. And, so they'll read through it. If they see a mistake, then they make a notation on the errata sheet. They do not make it on the transcript. And then they attach that to the, excuse me, the deposition. Okay. I don't understand how this just comes in here chastising you so that we don't talk at the same time. Just kind of threw that in there. The reporters are wonderful. I like that. Plus it will hurt her hands.
Yeah.
What is being said by whom? Whom? Anything more on this page? Okay.
Miss Judy, last night I practiced some of your 40 Q&A. Do you remember doing that? It must have been a long time ago.
Oh, when I do my voice?
Your 40 Q&A? Yeah. Like, when because we didn't do any Q&A last year, Mr. Hopkins, so it's like, I feel like I'm getting the rhythm, but I always wonder if you guys are so bored because you're like, and she said,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
Yes,
you're right,
sir.
we're bored.
I did one where y'all said, he called me a son of a bitch. You said the word son of a bitch.
No, I didn't.
Yes!
Said the word what?
So I wrote it out. And it came out. It came out. You were like, he was cussing me. And then what did he say? He called me. And I was like, am I writing this? Like, and this is on the wiki.
Well, there's a lot worse.
It was kind of fun. I was like, oh, I will be hearing this kind of stuff. And now I learned it's hyphenated. I didn't know that because it came out that way. Did y'all know it was?
That's so funny, no?
It is. When you write, just son of a, and then you write it, it comes up like that in the dictionary. It did.
Son of a gun.
Yeah.
Son of a gun.
All right, Q&A. Comma. 4 please. Comma. Tampa, comma, Florida. How many of you capitalized city?
No.
Good. Tim Burrows.
See, and I didn't spell all my letters.
Are for Boulevard, Gulf Boulevard, are those always written out? If it's street
Oh,
or
yes.
drive, always.
Yes, never abbreviate those.
That's wrong there.
Yeah.
What?
Question, were you working as a police officer in the middle of the page?
Clifford. A little bit over. I don't know.
How long did you work at?
Oh, because of the,
Do you ever,
They wrote out the word 7.
yeah.
Yeah.
Should that be?
No.
On April 7th of last year, since it's not a complete date?
Is there a rule that when it is a date that you write it out? I know 1
think
through
what
10
happened-
you write
I think
out.
for this purpose, it was a test that was prepared so that you have words you know what numbers would be 300, would be 300. I think that that's what happened. So the count, they do that for the numbers, but I think that's just because it was prepared that way.
But it would still just be one count unless you do it syllabically,
I know.
yes. Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened at that school.
What did you put, Grant? Did you put the numerals?
Always for
Under
dates.
10?
No, for dates.
Oh.
What about when somebody says, back in 1984? Write that out?
No.
Just 1984? I had an attorney one time
What'd you
who
do?
always said, 1900. Like, okay,
Did you write out 1984 or did you write 1984?
1984. And see, here's a period here. You were making a traffic stop on 2 people? Yes, I was. That's the answer.
Yep.
And then he went on to say in there, by the way, they were riding motorcycles. Yes, Yvonne?
It says, did you have occasion on that day? I didn't put it in.
I wouldn't either.
I put it on mine.
Here.
No, I didn't either.
I wouldn't have put any of those.
I don't think
They had a semicolon in that answer too. Yes, sir, I was.
I know.
And then below.
Well, and I looked through it, and only when it had the yes, sir,
Oh,
but when it just had yes, I would just put commas. I don't know where that came from. Huh?
Would you yes, comma, sir, comma?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but not yes, comma, sir, semicolon.
Yeah, yes, comma, sir, comma, I was. Yeah, that's how I would do it. Okay, ready?
I had a question about, you might have missed it. Oh, the very first question answer. About, do you know the name of the driver of that other motorcycle? I put, at first I put yes, comma, lowercase h, because that was the name, and he asked for the name. And then I guess.
He just asked, do you know the name?
And then when I edited it,
Yeah,
I did the period.
yeah. Because he just said, do you know the name? Yes.
You didn't ask for the name.
He didn't ask for the name. Yes, exactly.
That's one of the things I was debating over.
Yeah, it gets confusing. And here's another yes, sir. Semicolon.
Oh, it would.
Here's another one. Did you give them both a ticket for speeding? Yes, I did. I charged both of them for speeding on a public street. So that's kind of expounding a little bit on it.
So for the 60 miles an hour, that's correct to write it out. S-I-X-T-Y versus 60.
What would you hold
No,
on?
again, that's just what they're doing for this.
Grant, you wrote the numerals?
Oh, yeah.
60?
I did. Not gonna try it, but I
Did-
did. Now, on
I
mine,
kind of like it
I was really
written out.
stumped. I was like, do I keep it consistent and do the 5 and 6 above? Because there was like what you got marked off on. So I was like, do I keep it consistent?
5 and 6 years.
The 5 and 6 years, and then keep all the numerical going throughout the transcript? Or do I-
Well, there is that rule, 1 through 10, you write it out, and
Yeah,
10,
and she told us in there, keep it consistent, and it'll be fine. So I'm always like, I don't know.
I think
So I just went with the rules, because I was like, I'm
Yeah.
tired.
yeah.
Now, mine, I did miles an hour instead of miles per hour, and it came out hyphenated. What is that hyphenated and what is it not?
It is a 40-mile-per-hour zone. Then it would be hyphenated.
Okay, so I need to figure out my dictionary how to do it unhyphenated.
Stroke it out.
Well, I did.
Oh,
I did miles per hour and it came out hyphenated.
oh crap. I don't know.
Well, there is a wonderful brief for that. Miles per hour,
Work?
MIRP. And then miles an hour, MIR.
I'll look that up this weekend.
Now here, you would not write out, well, it would depend.
Did you stroke it out?
Like, there are some streets that the name of the street is written out. If it's a number, it's written out, and so you should do it the way that the street sign is. Of course, you're not always
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
know.
that's true. Some, yeah.
Well, when I was in Atlanta, downtown Atlanta, I knew all the numbered streets, and 14th Street was written out on the street sign. So I knew to write it out. You wouldn't be incorrect to do 14. But if you don't know, then definitely use the numerals.
Okay.
And always capitalize avenue, street, boulevard. It's always capitalized. And here we have dead end, hyphenated. I think you could do that. Yeah, it was a dead end street. Then I believe it would be one word.
I'll do it.
I think. Ready to move on? Okay,
Ready to move on, yeah.
move on.
Let's go. Come on, it's Friday, people. I want to read really fast.
Usually you're the talker. Today you're all speaking.
I know. I have a date tonight. I'm going home and get ready. You gotta go home and clean the house and do the dishes.
For your day?
No, I'm just gonna go see one day.
Cause what? First date at home?
Huh?
First date at home, that's sexy.
Come on over, man. I gotta do the dishes. You can punch her down. You might be good.
I suck.
See here, 5 is written out, 5 blocks.
Yeah, see, why is that? I don't understand.
Because numbers 1 through 10 are written out.
Okay, yeah. I have them all mixed
That's
up.
something else, because I forget.
So everything else should be consistent, except for the under 5 rule, and obviously street names and number, those, but keep it consistent unless it's under 5 or it's specific.
I mean, under 10.
I mean, under 10, I'm sorry, yes, okay.
Uh-huh.
Who would have thought numbers would be such a, yes.
Who would have thought the English language would be such a...
It is a pain. There's another hyphenated dead end.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Grant, do you ever see dead end as one word?
I had to Google that.
I think,
No, I would see a dead end spot would be hyphenated. But
Always
no,
thought-
if
So
it did
fine.
dead end,
I always thought on
No.
the signs it was one word. That's why I wanted to do it. Like when you look at a dead end sign, I think it's like
Where-
isn't it
where
one
is that?
word? I'm gonna have to check that out.
Here and...
It was twice in there.
I didn't, I put it as 2 words.
That is one
I
word.
think, sure.
Not with the hyphen?
No,
Oh, here's the other one.
the dead end of the street.
Comes to a dead end at that point.
but that doesn't describe anything. So that's why I don't
It's
know
not
why it's
modifying anything. So I probably would not have put the hyphen there. But if you have a dead end street, then you would hyphenate it, because it's modifying street.
I'm trying to find it. Oh, it's the beginning.
This is on page 2. Under 37th Avenue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I put 2 words.
Yeah. And then down here,
Yeah.
2 words. Okay, anything else on this page? Now, look at this.
Because it's more than 10.
I swear it's just because it was prepared that way.
This should be numeral,
Why?
because it's over 10.
I always get screwed up. I know what it is. But
Yeah, I know what it is, but I can't say it. I don't know why.
So on the
But
next one, on the
definitely,
new
you
one-
know, if you do write it out, do be consistent.
Yeah, they're at least are consistent. So
Yeah.
right there, it should also be the numeral.
Yes.
And
Right.
On the second one also?
Yeah.
Well, and
Okay.
then a few lines down, it says,
10
we
to
have been going
15.
90 to 100 miles an hour. Down right where the shadow is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I swear it's just because of the counting purposes, Judy. You know
Yeah.
how, because that's, and I will tell you that in Montreal, there are many reporters that write numbers out, period.
Yeah.
They never, no matter any amount of money, if it's $3.40, they put $3.40.
I think I'm gonna make a rule for myself
Well,
like that.
you get more pages that
Yeah.
way.
Well, that's really what they're thinking.
I just
Yeah.
need a consistent
But
rule.
there's the other issue that legally, because in legal documents that I prepared when I was working in the legal field up there, is that you would have a number and you always follow it by the number would be written out, and in brackets, you would put the number in figures.
I think it
That's
also
our
makes it
thing in
easier to
Canada.
search it.
Ah, that's
It makes it easier for them to search it. 'Cause that's something my boyfriend talks about all the time, is that ASCII files.
Yeah.
He loves it because he can do the Control F and he can search 3.41. It'll
Yeah.
come up.
Yeah, but you see, what I'm saying is that we used to do both. You'd put the number, and then you put in
Written
brackets.
out.
You'd write out the number, and then in brackets we'd put, and it's a lot of editing problem.
Well, what about here?
No, it's too.
10 or 15?
I write them. That's what I did.
See, I mean, to be correct, you would have TEN or 1.5.
But that's when the consistency rule would come in, right?
That's where the 1 through 10 written out rule comes in.
Right, but keeping it the same would be the consistent.
I'd be telling that
No.
Right out,
numbers.
numbers 10 and up. Yeah, so here you would put 15 as 15.
And
10 is TEN and 15 is
No.
1.5.
no, I put 10, 1, 0.
1.0.
But that's not gonna fail you.
No, it's not going to fail you.
Oh, I thought it would.
No.
They're not marking off for those,
No.
really? 'Cause my mistakes were not those. Different than any other ones.
If it would have taken that speed to catch them, I would have done that semicolon, however, comma.
So period's wrong there.
Yes.
Okay. I'll make the period.
No idea what the total time was, comma, sir, period. Okay. Yeah, all of the numbers are written out in this thing.
Yeah, I think it's but just for
Yeah.
timing purposes.
I think it looks nicer if they're written out myself, but that's just aesthetics. Okay? Because you guys don't go this far, do you? All righty.
Way to just make us feel like crap. I'm just
One day.
Just look at all that much that we have to do. I was like, we're so close to graduating. I was like, what are you smoking? We're so close.
I'm just gonna
I wonder where everybody